Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a video on the most anticipated comics from me for the October Solicits of DC Comics, including talking about this big title of Flatline and Damian Wayne possibly having a romance. But let's get started. First, I want to talk about Batman issue 115. Just to have the Batgirls mentioned in this book is always a pleasure. I don't know how to feel about the Peacemakers or Peacekeepers. I'm not a huge fan of that arc, so to see that continuing, don't know how to feel about that. And that kind of leads me into the next title, which is A Secret Files on the Peacekeepers. So we've had Huntress, we had Clown Hunter. I'm excited for a book to expand on these new characters. That's something I have enjoyed about the Secret Files. Again, seeing more of Clown Hunter, seeing more Punchline and backup stories, seeing more Miracle Molly and Fear State, but there's so many new characters, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. I do wish that they just kind of stick with the few to flesh out and then introduce even more new characters, especially, again, Future State not being the critical big hit, I would say. I don't know how it did sales wise, but critically, it was kind of a lukewarm event. So I don't know how to feel that Batman's putting a lot of their eggs in the basket of Future State and these Peacekeepers. Moving on to Nightwing issue 85, we get to see Barbara Gordon fully in her suit, her Batgirl suit, and we do have Anti-Oracle kind of being played out here as well, at least being teased in the solicits. I like the new costume. I like that it's a nice mixture of the Burnside playfulness of the costume. I'm stoked to see Barbara as Batgirl again. This is exactly what I wanted to see with the character, seeing her as Oracle every once in a while and honestly more fully, and then every once in a while seeing her as Batgirl and having the opportunity to do both and making both fans happy. I think it's a great move for Barbara Gordon. Moving on to the next thing, which is Batman Urban Legends. There's actually a lot of different characters being explored here, including just having Fear State and Batwoman played out here. That's the one thing I really like about Batman Urban Legends is that it doesn't feel like these one-off anthology books. They feel like they do matter, and they are progressing the story of some other characters that might not be able to fit in the Batman flagship, like Batwoman. We haven't seen Batwoman since, I feel like, the Detective Comics run. It's been a really long time since we've seen Batwoman, so to see a whole story with her is going to be really nice, and just seeing it all connect to Fear State and hopefully get even more people to want to pick up that book. And the next thing I want to talk about is Batman Fortnite one-shot. Now, what's cool about this, I'm not following the Fortnite books, but I thought it was interesting to see, one of the biggest Batman writers, Scott Snyder, writing a Batman issue again, but also trying to promote these Fortnite tie-ins, which I think is so important to get new readers into comics, to showcase a franchise that is so big like Fortnite and make a comic, put these codes into it, really try to lure people to pick up comic books, I think is so important. And then having one of your biggest names to maybe even have comic book fans want to check out some Fortnite stuff. So it's really great meshing of fan bases and marketing. Moving on to Catwoman Lonely City. I am a huge Paper Girls fan, as you guys might know if you've been following the channel for a long time, and a big fan of Cliff Chiang's artwork. So to see him return to DC Comics post New 52 Wonder Woman for a Catwoman story, kind of Elseworld Black Label book, I'm so on board for. He's writing and drawing this book, and I want to get into a Catwoman book. It's been a really long time since I've read Catwoman, so hopefully this one-off does that for me. Moving on to Aquaman and Green Arrow. What an interesting pair. So they're both celebrating their 80th anniversary. Their both series have ended in the past. I know that Aquaman kind of has an Aqualad / Aquaman book with Jackson. But, having Arthur be in this book and then teaming up with Green Arrow, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know why they're teaming up, but I'm kind of interested. They're kind of an odd couple to put together. Green Arrow has a lot going on with Checkmate, so I'm curious to see what that's going to be all about. And then next up is Refrigerator Full of Heads. I love Basket Full of Heads, one of my favorite horror books in a while. I'm a big fan of The Final Girl, so I hope they kind of follow that genre. So definitely we'll be picking up the sequel for this. Seems like they're really turning a different angle, but maybe we'll get to see the characters we know and love from Basket Full of Heads. But I like that they are expanding this horror genre slash imprint at DC. Next up is Aquaman the Becoming. Speaking of Aqualad slash, I guess, Aquaman in this one, I'm just really excited for this book. I love that we get to see Jackson taking a leadership role here, having the Aquaman title to him, also having a Black Manta book all at the same time. Really interested to see that. And one of the only Future State books I really liked was the Aquaman Future State book. So I'm curious to see if it's going to tie into that story. Next up is Crush and Lobo, and this one just seems like we're going to be seeing a lot more of the father-daughter relationship, which I'm very curious about. I've been loving Crush and Lobo. It's definitely one of my favorite series on stands. The romance aspect, the kind of slice-of-life aspect, while dealing with all the big character drama of your dad being a supervillain. So very excited to see where this one's going to go. And then next up is Harley Quinn, the animated series. Man, oh man, if I have not been this excited for a book in a really long time. I love this television show, and to see them continuing right where season 2 left off, and having characters like Commissioner Gordon and Catwoman being a big part of it, you know this is going to be good. They're some of the best characters of the show, and I can't wait to see Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy's relationship blossom and what that means for the show and also the comic. And exactly where season 3 is going to pick up, if they're really telling a story right after season 2, like how is this going to play out in the season 3 show? And moving on to our main topic of the video, which is Robin issue 7, where they very much tease that Flatline and Robin kiss, and maybe this is going to mean a romance for Robin. So I'm curious because we really haven't gotten to see that with Robin. You know, every Robin kind of has their love interest. We have Stephanie and Tim, Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon, Jason Todd, and whoever, I guess. Sometimes it's Barbara Gordon. But it's kind of nice to see Damian Wayne also have that arc for himself as well. And I should mention Dick Grayson also has Starfire. And also, I mean, you kind of saw that already in the first couple issues, that they had a very playful dynamic. And I'm curious if this is trying to be Endgame. Is there going to be maybe some betrayal, because this is still a tournament to kill people and, to live forever. So I don't know if this is going to be a perfect romance, but I'm curious to learn more about Flatline and what this means for Robin and what this means for Damian Wayne. And what I love is just breaking down that character, breaking his hard shell. And I think Flatline will really help that for his character as well. So really looking forward to that. Let me know in the comments below what are books you are looking forward to in October for DC Comics. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Definitely follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Go check out my comics like Father Like Daughter and They Call Her Dancer. And every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is Comic Book Weekly, where we discuss our favorite comics and comic book news. Thanks guys. Bye.